Howdy.
What's up? What's up?
Not much. Well, this is something new for both of us.
Yeah, we're testing stuff out.
Uh huh. That we are.
Yeah, we're testing stuff out. Oh,
Turn your phone down.
I got it.
But no. What are we talking about today?
American football,
Yes, we are. American football.
which was like pretty much our whole weekend.
Pretty much started. Well, I watched the Duke Northwestern game Friday. Or actually, no. Started Thursday with the NFL being back, which we'll get into that because there's some stuff around the NFL we need to talk about. And also, we'll talk about some of the big games in college this week. Then probably won't go in depth to all the NFL games, but the ones we care about. So the Steelers and the Lions. But anyways, Saturday started off with Texas, number 3 Texas at number 10 Michigan. And this was a shit show.
Hell to the losers.
It was a shit show from the start. Michigan did not look good at all. They have no quarterback, no offensive line, no run game.
Hey, I thought their running backs did well. I mean, it's hard to run when your offensive line ain't providing you holes to run through.
But Texas would come to Ann Arbor and win 31-12 over Michigan. Ewers went 24 for 36 with 248 yards and 3 touchdowns. Davis Warren went 22 for 23, 204 yards, a touchdown, and 2 picks. The longest rushing play of the game was by Wingo for Texas, who had 1 carry for 55 yards, and that's more than what Donovan Edwards did all game, who had 8 carries for 41 yards.
Okay, in Michigan's defense, they did lose a bunch of their players to the draft.
And no, that's fine. But also when Texas puts up 143 rushing yards to 82 rushing yards, and your whole identity is running the football, I expect you to be good at running the football.
Okay, so there's things that Coach Moore needs to work on. Quarterback and running back.
Well, I don't think Donovan Edwards should be starting anyways. It should be Mullins.
I think they're gonna go like by committee, kind of like they're doing their quarterback situation. Like everybody wants the orgy in the end zone, but I don't think orgy is developed as the guy they thought he was gonna be. So my suggestion is in the NIL pool, bond you a quarterback next year.
I wish we had to do that. Went to Miami. Cam Ward. But
But
yes,
if I'm not mistaken, didn't one person on this podcast say they would give up a Michigan season for a Lions season? Hmm.
I would. Hey, Michigan won their national title. I can die a happy man with that. Now, if the Lions win the Super Bowl, I'm never shutting up about it. Never. I would mention it every day. And then you would get Dallas and Steelers and New England fans be like, oh, we have 6. I don't give a fuck. We have a Super Bowl, and that's all I care about. Anyways,
Yes, this was a shit show in the big house. This was the first game that Michigan has lost in the big house in like 27 games or something.
something like that, but was not good. And I'm scared for what brings Thanksgiving weekend because I don't like losing to Ohio State.
On the bright side, we really don't have to watch the game because we'll be at WrestleCade.
That's very true.
So
That's
if the
very
game
true.
starts turning into a shit show for the other team, we could just turn it off our phones and enjoy the rest of our day at WrestleCade.
Well, Michigan isn't the only one that lost at home, and this one's a bigger blow than what Michigan's loss is. The Northern Illinois Huskies go into South Bend and take down number 5 Notre Dame 16-14. And Notre Dame has no offense.
So they're kind of in the same boat as Michigan.
No, because they somewhat have a competent defense as well.
And Michigan's defense looked pretty good.
For like 3 drives, then they got tired. But anyway,
I mean, when you're on the field all damn game, what do you expect?
Let me just read some stats off here. Riley Leonard, who was Duke's quarterback last year, who now plays at Notre Dame, went 20 for 32, 163 yards, no passing touchdowns, 2 picks, but he did get a rushing touchdown. Northern Illinois' quarterback went 10 for 19, 198 yards, and 1 touchdown. Rushing, Jeremiah Love for Notre Dame went for 79 yards, 11 carries, and a touchdown. So those were the only 2 touchdowns Notre Dame got since they have no pass game. Ontario Brown for Northern Illinois on 20 carries had 99 yards in receiving, 2 catches for 126 yards and 1 touchdown, with the longest play being 83 yards. But so I fell asleep during this game.
So that's how boring it was?
Well, Notre Dame scored on their first drive. I was like, okay, it'll be a blowout. So I took a nap because, Michigan pissed me off. And, well, I wake up to see that, yeah, Notre Dame's losing with like under a minute left, and they have the ball, and they set up for a field goal, but it gets blocked, and Northern Illinois wins, and it's their first win against a top 10 ranked opponent ever.
Good job, Northern Illinois.
So go Huskies.
And not Washington.
No, not Washington. Anyways, but that game was something from what I've seen. I think I watched like the first quarter. But so Penn State.
Pedophile state.
Penn State barely survived Bowling Green. They won by 7.
How the hell do you only win by 7 to Bowling Green?
Good question.
And I thought Penn State went into West Virginia and kicked their ass the week before.
Could have been one of those things where they focus more on West Virginia and not Bowling Green. Like, oh, it's Bowling Green, we'll beat them. But no,
like Michigan and App State that year.
For a good part of this game, Bowling Green led. Just some quick stats. Bowling Green's quarterback, don't know how to say his last name, Bazelak, went 25 for 39, 254 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a pick. Drew Aller, who I think is one of the most overrated quarterbacks in the country, went 13 for 20, 204 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a pick. Rushing, Penn State's Singleton went 13 carries, 119 yards, and a touchdown. And Fannin Jr. for Bowling Green had 11 catches, 137 yards, and a touchdown. And Penn State's tight end Warren had 8 catches for 146 yards and no touchdowns. Who the fuck let this happen?
Let what?
Michigan State's leading the Big Ten.
Go Spartans.
Am I in hell? Is this what hell feels like?
You're in football hell, except for the Lions right now.
Yeah. But from what I watched of this game, Penn State really didn't look all that good. And let's see. Let me check Penn State's schedule real quick because I'm curious. They should be able to beat
play
Penn
Michigan.
State. They don't, but they do have USC and Ohio State. So
Can we get a tie for the Ohio State game? Because I don't
Can
want to
both-
root for either team.
can both teams fucking lose? And knowing James Franklin, because he chokes in the big games, he's probably going to lose both of those games. Well, Penn State's not the only top 10 team to survive. Oregon and Boise State had a shootout at Aztec Stadium. It was a good game. That second half was electric as fuck. Let's see. Not Penn State. Oregon had a kickoff return and a punt return touchdown, which kept them in the game. But Oregon ended up winning 37-34 with a last-second field goal. And Dylan Gabriel made some mistakes. He's still learning a new offense, so that's not surprising. But he went 18 for 21, 243 yards, and 2 touchdowns. And can I just say, Ashton Gentry for Boise State should be Heisman. He should win the Heisman. He had 6 touchdowns week 1 and had added 3 more this one on 25 carries and 192 yards. But, I mean, it was a good game. I enjoyed it. Boise State could be the team that gets the Power 5 playoff spot. Or not Power 5, Group of 5 playoff spot. So, just have to wait and see. And well, the final college game we're talking about is, you're going to like this one. Number 19, Kansas taking on Illinois. Illinois beat Kansas 23-17.
I was going to say, and I know who won that game.
Not only that, Illinois scored 10 unanswered points in the fourth quarter to win the game.
Nice.
So, Illinois does get a win. They start off 2-0 for the first time in like forever. And I didn't watch this game, but Kansas's quarterback threw 3 interceptions.
That's not good.
So, if you want to win football games, you can't turn over the ball. And it appears Kansas turned the ball over 4 times.
Yeah, you got to hold on to the ball if you want to win the football game. Fumbles are not your friend.
No, not at all. Turnovers are not good. But anyways, that's the college games I wanted to talk about. Let me see. Speaking of college football real quick, I'm going to the Ole Miss game this week at Wake Forest. Go Rebels.
Nice.
Michigan plays Arkansas State. Michigan should win, but, probably won't. Alabama goes to Madison, Wisconsin to play Wisconsin on the road. So
Who's Michigan play this week?
Arkansas State. LSU and South Carolina play. That should be interesting. Oregon State. Ole Miss and Wake Forest. Georgia and Kentucky. And those are about the... And there's a good game Friday night between Arizona and Kansas State. They're both ranked. So that is that for college football. So any thoughts on college football from Saturday night?
I enjoy Saturday college football. It would have been better if Michigan would have won. But it is what it is.
Yep, can't do nothing about it now. But anyways, it's time to get into the NFL. And well, we'll start with the Thursday night game between Baltimore and Kansas City. And Kansas City would end up winning 27-20.
Boo!
Because on the final play, Lamar Jackson finds Isaiah Likely in the back of the end zone. But Isaiah Likely's big toe is out of bounds. And he was out of bounds. And this is coming from a guy who likes Baltimore. He was out. Can't do nothing about it. Just have to have better foot placement next time.
Can we talk about all the penalties they called on Baltimore? About the dude lining up incorrectly? But they didn't call him on Kansas City.
Well, okay. The dude was lining up incorrectly, and the NFL did say we're cracking down on it this year.
Then why didn't they call the same thing on Kansas City when their dude lined up incorrectly? I watched the game.
But he wasn't. There was that one guy that was false starting every play, but he did that last year too. That's what costed them the game against the Lions in week 1 last year. But, so, I thought it was a good game. Lamar needs to work on his passing still and not be a running back all the time because he went 16 carries for 122 yards. And Mahomes threw for 291, 1 touchdown, and 1 interception. Also, Xavier Worthy, he is one fast motherfucker. That dude is fast as fuck.
Thanks, Bills, for handing the fucking Chiefs another Super Bowl, you cocksuckers.
They're not winning the Super Bowl. Because we'll get into that a little bit later. Anyways, Friday night, we had a game in Brazil. And my fantasy season's over because of this game. Because Jordan Love got hurt. On one end, I'm happy the Packers lost. But on the other end, god damn it, I need my quarterback.
Yeah, but from what I hear, it's only going to be like 4 to 6
It's like
weeks.
4 to, yeah. But Philly wins 34-29. Saquon, in his first game as an Eagle, has 3 touchdowns. And I saw an interesting stat. When Saquon was on the Giants, he played 79 games. He only scored 3 touchdowns in 1 game. And he already has 3 touchdowns in 1 game with Philly.
Wow. So evidently, his previous team was not using him correctly.
Well, it's the Giants. When did they ever use anybody correctly?
I wasn't going to try to be ugly. I'm the angel of the show.
Okay.
I heard the field was shitty, though.
Oh, yeah. Next up, we have starting our Sunday's games. We'll talk about that game last. The Steelers beat Atlanta in Atlanta 18-10. The only touchdown in this game was a Kirk Cousins passing touchdown, because apparently all you need in the NFL to win is fucking field goals if you have TJ Watt.
Exactly. TJ Watt is a monster. And there was some bullshit calls on TJ Watt. Them fucking refs have something against TJ Watt. They took away 2 sacks and a fumble recovery from him. It's bullshit.
There was a lot of iffy calls, like the play that took away that flag that took away the big play by Pickens.
Yeah, that too. But I'm on my TJ rant. Y'all overlook him for Defensive Player of the Year every year because y'all bitch about stats. He puts up the stats, then you say stats don't matter. Well, what the fuck do you judge them on if it's not stats?
Don't know, because you would think it would be stats.
And I have never seen TJ be this mad to the point where he was jawing at the ref and he was jawing at Mike Tomlin. And Mike Tomlin, like, he was jawing at Mike Tomlin, like, saying that call was bullshit, blah, blah, blah. Mike Tomlin just looked at him like, yeah, man, I know. But when you have Chris Boswell, the GOAT of kickers, and TJ Watt, who needs to score a touchdown?
A touchdown would be nice.
And I will say, our new offensive coordinator, he did kind of call the game around Justin Fields' ability to kind of make Justin Fields look good.
I will say Fields did look good.
So I'm in no hurry for Russell Wilson to be rushed back. Take all the time you need with that hammy.
But just to get off some stats from the Steelers real quick. Fields threw for 156 yards. Najee went for 79 yards. And George Pickens had 85 yards on 6 catches. I don't care about the Falcons enough to read off their stats, so. But congrats to the Steelers on winning week 1.
And guess what? I got another stat for you.
What?
The Steelers are the only team in the AFC North with a win and didn't score a touchdown.
Good for them.
And Boswell is the first kicker in Steeler history to kick 3 field goals of 50-plus yards.
Damn. Next up, Buffalo is played Arizona this past weekend, with Buffalo winning 34-28.
That was a good game.
Yeah, I don't think Kyler Murray was paying attention to Marvin Harrison Jr. at all.
Yeah, he had what, like 1 or 2 receptions?
I think he had like two or 3 catches for like 11 yards.
Yeah.
And on the last play of the game, he was wide open. There was nobody in the same zip code as him. That's how wide open he was. And Murray just never looked his way. So,
I just don't think Murray is that great of a quarterback.
Yeah, he's short. But Buffalo does survive. They go on to face Miami this week. So that might be an interesting game.
Where are they playing that game at?
Well, we'll get there when we make predictions.
Oh, we're doing predictions. I didn't know that.
Yes.
Cool.
We will make NFL predictions, but not college predictions.
Sounds good to me.
Anyways, but congrats to Buffalo, I guess. Tennessee taking on Chicago. The Bears win 24-17 because Tennessee.
Okay, I watched some of this
collapsed.
game. I watched some of this game, and at the beginning of this game, I thought Chicago was gonna Chicago, which means I thought they were gonna suck.
Well, their offense sucked,
but their defense it's kind of like the Steelers last year. Their defense kept them in games close enough that the Steelers almost made the playoffs.
Well, the Steelers did make the playoffs.
Did they? I forgot.
Yeah, they played Buffalo and got killed in the wild
Yeah.
card.
Oh,
Because
that
that's
was
the
the
Mike
snow
Tomlin
game.
one. Yeah,
Was that the snow game?
that's the game that got pushed back to Monday.
Yeah.
Because it's the Mike Tomlin special. Go 9-8, make the playoffs, and lose in the wild card.
He hasn't had a losing season in his 18 years, I think, in Pittsburgh. So, just saying.
But Chicago wins 24-17 with their defense getting 17 of the points.
But their defense cannot sustain scoring all their points. Their offense is going to have to step up.
Oh,
What
yeah.
was your initial impressions of Caleb Williams?
He sucked, like I said he would. He did not look good. He threw for 93 yards.
Wow. Okay, then.
DeAndre Swift is washed up, like I said. He went 10 carries for 30 yards. Because running backs don't last long in the NFL. But shout out to the Bears defense. They did get me 26 points in fantasy. So thank you for that. Our next game is New England taking on Cincinnati. And well,
New England, Cincinnati. Cincinnati's going to Cincinnati, and I figured out Cincinnati's problem.
They don't have an O-line. Joe Burrow gets hurt all the time. Joe Burrow's nothing without 3 wide receiver ones.
No. You know
They
how
play
Joe
in
Burrow,
Cincinnati.
you know how Joe Burrow dyed his hair blonde?
Yeah.
What did they say about blondes? Blondes are stupid.
They're in Cincinnati. That's also a mistake. Just
Well, I
being
mean,
in
they're in the
Ohio
state
is
of
a mistake.
Ohio, so
So,
them in Cleveland, just saying.
so that's
Which
just
both are in my division of the AFC North. And it's
But
looking right now that it's going to come down to maybe the Ravens and Steelers fighting for the division.
like it has been for like the past 50-something years.
No, Cincinnati was pretty good like a few years ago.
They had that one Super Bowl run and like kind of faded away. But I can't say much on this game. I didn't really watch it, but shout out to Keith, who's a Patriots fan, and yeah. So they won with Jared Mayo as their new head coach. Maybe Bill was the problem. Anyways, this game was a fun one. Houston and Indianapolis, with Houston winning 29-27. Both quarterbacks looked really good. Richardson threw a like 70-yard bomb in the end zone.
I was impressed by Richardson in the Indianapolis Colts.
Stroud threw for 234 yards and 2 touchdowns, and Joe Mixon went for 30 carries, 159 yards, and 1 touchdown.
Who's in the AFC South?
Houston, Indy, Jacksonville, Tennessee.
Chiefs? Oh, Tennessee.
No, Kansas City is in the West.
Okay. So Indy, Houston, Jacks, and Tennessee.
Yes.
If Richards plays like he did in this game throughout the season, I could see the AFC South coming down to Houston and Indy.
I could see it. Also depends if like Jacksonville wants to play good football.
Okay. As a Jags fan, fuck Trevor Lawrence. You fucking suck and you shouldn't have got that goddamn contract.
Well, speaking of Jacksonville, that's our next game we're talking about.
You had the fucking lead and you blew it.
Miami wins 20-17, and Tyreek Hill had one hell of a day. Seven catches for 130 yards and a touchdown after being detained by Miami police earlier in the morning. And then on Tyreek's touchdown, his celebration was him getting handcuffed.
I kind of liked it because, I'm kind of petty like that sometimes.
But
when the situation calls for it.
Tua went for 338 yards and one touchdown. Apparently that's all they needed. And I think the rest was just field goals. Actually, I'm guessing they got a rushing touchdown. Well, who got your rushing touchdown? Devon Achane got the rushing touchdown. That makes sense. Also, Travis Etienne got a touchdown. And Lawrence threw a touchdown. But nobody cares about Trevor Lawrence.
The
next game. Oh, God, this was a shit show from the very beginning. The New Orleans Saints beat the Carolina Panthers by a whopping score of 47-10. I don't have much to say. Bryce Young isn't good.
Carolina. You should be a Panthers fan because you live in North Carolina.
I'm good. Carolina is not a good football team. The whole
Carolina's football team is trash. Their owner is trash. So the team reflects the owner. So yeah, they're trash.
Yeah, but
he's gonna fire the coach probably within the next 2 weeks if they continue to lose like this. I could see Tepin firing the coach in the next 2 weeks. And I would not be surprised if that motherfucker decided he'd want to be coach himself.
So instead of losing 47-10, they'll lose 50-0?
Probably 100-0.
Sure, go for it.
Part of me, because I've always hated Carolina since they moved here in like 93, part of me wants them to go 16, 17, however many games. Yeah, however many games they're playing. I want them to have like the Lions record, go like 0-17.
Well, Carolina would be the first team to go 0-17. But anyway,
the city of Charlotte gave Tepin money to make enhancements to the stadium, though. Dumbass Mecklenburg County.
Well, we're not getting into that. I don't know. If you're able to make Derek Carr look like a competent quarterback, then you're doing something wrong. And Carolina's doing a lot wrong right now. And there'll probably be a bunch of our jokes this season talking about the Panthers.
I can't wait. I've always hated them fuckers since they moved into Carolina.
The purple reincarnation of the devil, the Minnesota Vikings beat the New York Giants 28-6. It's the Giants. I'm not taking a lot away from this game for Minnesota. I'm not scared of Minnesota at all.
Who's Minnesota's quarterback?
Well, it would have been J.J. McCarthy, but it's Sam Darnold who threw for 208 yards, 2 touchdowns, and did throw a pick.
Well, that's not bad stats.
No, but he's going to get owned by the Lions secondary. Daniel Jones is not a good quarterback. He's not worth the money that he's making. And the Giants will also be a team we pick on a lot this season. Because I think the Giants and Carolina are the two worst teams in the league.
Okay.
Next up, starting our 4 o'clock games. Jim Harbaugh is back in the NFL coaching the Chargers. And they beat the Raiders at home 22-10. J.K. Dobbins gets a touchdown. He goes for 19 carries, 135 yards. I didn't watch this game. Don't know what happened. So, what were Bobby's thoughts on this game, Mother?
I don't know. Oh, he was bitching about the Chargers. And then I turned over the game and they were winning and I'm going, "What are you bitching about? They're winning."
But they win 22-10.
Good to see Jim Harbaugh start off with a win.
Yeah. Not really sure what they need. I mean, a wide receiver that could catch that's not Quentin Johnson would be a good start. But we'll see. Seattle beats Denver 26-10. Didn't watch this game either. Because I watched the Dallas game instead.
I watched a little bit of that Dallas game because I wanted to hear Tom Brady on the call, which I was really impressed with and actually like him doing commentary.
So I've heard mixed opinions on him. Some say he's good, some say he's not good.
I mean, I would wait to make a honest assessment of him, probably in week 5 or 6, because this is the first time he's ever done it.
But I don't really have much to say about the Seattle game. Just besides they won. And I swear to God, if the Lions lose to Seattle for the 3rd straight year, I'm going to be really fucking pissed off. But
who did Dallas play?
Dallas comes in the shitty Cleveland, Ohio.
Oh,
and
yeah.
just fucking dominates them.
And Dax got paid right for the game.
Yeah, the 179 yards and 1 touchdown for Dak really showed he's worth that contract.
I mean, it is Jerry Jones. Not the sharpest tool in the shed there.
But, I wish there was a way both teams could have lost this game. Can't wait to play Dallas in week 6 because we are kicking their ass this time around. And we're not going to get fucked over by the refs because Decker reported, and I don't give a fuck what anybody says. The Lions won that game last year. Anyways, moving on. Tampa Bay.
I was happily Cleveland lost because they're in the same division as my Steelers. When Cleveland can Cleveland, it's a good day.
I'm happy whenever Cleveland loses.
Cleveland, the mistake by the lake.
Cleveland, the mistake of the fucking United States of America.
Cleveland, the only city that can set a lake on fire.
I don't know if the Lions won the Super Bowl. Detroit, what's the lake by Detroit?
The Detroit River?
Yeah,
the one the river that separates Detroit from Canada?
Yeah.
Y'all might set that on fire.
Hey, but it would be for a good reason.
So are we getting into the Sunday night game now?
We have one more 4 o'clock game to talk about. And it is Tampa Bay taking on Washington. And Tampa Bay wins 37-20. And Baker throws for 4 touchdowns.
See, Cleveland? Y'all could have kept Baker.
Yeah, but why would they do that when they want to go get a weird motherfucker named Deshaun Watson, who's also getting sued again?
I heard something about that, but we won't discuss that.
Nope.
I see the commies are being the commies. I'm not going to call them the commies. I'm going to call them the Redskins. I'm sorry. They're always going to be the Washington Redskins to me.
And well, Sunday night football, baby. The Los Angeles Rams take on your 2024-2025 Super Bowl champions, Detroit Lions.
We haven't played that Super Bowl yet?
We have in my mind and we won, so.
Oh, okay.
But the Lions win it in overtime, 26-20.
Definitely a Campbell team. They gritted it out. The Rams lost Puka Nakua though for a while.
Yeah, which
The Rams were taking some, like they were falling like flies. They had some injuries coming out of this game. Like they lost a couple of O-line guys. They lost Puka.
But time to read some stats, and we will start with the Los Angeles Rams stats first. This is the second straight time Stafford's come into Ford Field and has lost to the Lions. Fuck you, Matthew, and your bitch ass wife.
Hey, now leave the wives out of it.
Fuck Kelly Stafford, she's a bitch.
Well, I mean, I'm not disagreeing. I'm just saying.
But Stafford threw the ball 50 times. Went 34 for 19, 317 yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 interception in the end zone that was picked off by Kirby fucking Joseph, who's a stud. I love that guy. Kyren Williams also had a touchdown on 18 carries for 50 yards. Cooper Kupp on 14 catches, 110 yards, and a touchdown. That's all the offensive stats for the Rams. Jared Goff went 18 for 28, 217 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. David Montgomery had 17 carries, 91 yards, and 1 touchdown. Jahmyr Gibbs had 11 carries, 40 yards, and 1 touchdown. And like I said, Jameson Williams breakout season, 5 receptions, 121 yards, and 1 touchdown on a fucking nice throw by Goff to him. And that Montgomery touchdown overtime, that whole call was just run. Ben Johnson opened the playbook and said, okay, we're going to run the play called run over a motherfucker. And that's exactly what they did.
I fell asleep during this game. Woke up to turn the TV off to hear them interviewing Jared Goff and heard him say something about winning. So I'm like, yay, they won. Turned the TV off and went to bed. I don't have a team in the NFC, so I just kind of cheer for the Lions for you.
And Hutchinson got a sack, so.
Hutchinson was on fire. He got called for a penalty.
Hutchinson saw it yesterday, but he had the best pass rush of anybody and was tied with Micah Parsons on conversion rate.
He still is not as good as TJ Watt.
But my Detroit Lions win 26-20, starting off the season right. And we go play Tampa Bay this week.
You're tied with Minnesota.
Minnesota and Chicago.
1-0. Oh yeah, I forgot Chicago won.
And I didn't watch the game last night, but San Francisco wins 32-19.
Well, we can't watch the damn game because of freaking Disney and DirecTV.
That's also very true. But San Fran wins 32-19, and Rodgers played the whole game surprisingly. He threw a touchdown and a pick. So
it'll take him some time to gel with his receivers and everything. Game day and practice are like really different. So I'm gonna give him a couple of weeks.
I don't
before I'll say he's back to the old Aaron.
Anyways, what are your takes from week 1? Who looks like contenders? Who kind of had you worried? and who's just flat out terrible.
Well, Dallas is going to Dallas eventually. They're going to
Yeah.
look really good during the regular season, and they're going to choke in playoffs. TJ's a beast.
Yeah.
I think the AFC North is going to come down to the Ravens and Steelers, and it's going to be old fashioned pound 'em and ground 'em football between them two teams. I was kind of impressed with the Lions secondary. Y'all went out and got some guys, drafted
Yeah.
some guys. They looked pretty good. Because that was your Achilles heel last year, I told you, was that secondary killed y'all. I could see y'all making a serious run. But it is week 1, so. Jaguars are going to Jaguar, unfortunately.
Go back to the
And
bottom of the AFC South.
Yes, and I'll torture myself with it.
But I think the contenders have to throw Kansas City up there because it's fucking. They would just always somehow end up there. Detroit,
Well,
me being
if
biased.
you want, I have week 2 power rankings.
Sure, we'll do that before we get into predictions.
Oh no, I got some news. Do you want me to give you my Steelers news?
Sure.
They have signed safety Terrell Edmonds to the active roster from Jacksonville's practice squad, and they officially placed our punter on the injured reserve list, which was fucking bullshit. How the fuck does our punter get injured and you fucking call a penalty against the goddamn Steelers?
Don't know, but yeah, the refs will be a problem like they are all season.
Yeah. What you got?
All right, starting this week, Thursday night, the Buffalo Bills head down to Florida to take on the Miami Dolphins on Amazon Prime.
Are you writing these down? Are you keeping up with what we're picking?
I can.
Or do you want me to do it?
You can. But I think I'm gonna go with Miami this game. Buffalo's defense struggled against Arizona. And I just think that secondary, especially with Tyreek Hill on the field, think Miami's gonna win. So, plus I just need Tua to have a good game since he's now my starting quarterback for the next couple weeks.
I was impressed by Miami. They come back and beat the Jaguars, so I'm gonna take Miami.
Next up we have a NFC divisional round rematch between the Tampa Bay Buccaneers coming into Ford Field to take on your Detroit Lions. And you know who I'm choosing?
Tampa Bay, right?
Nope.
I think I'm gonna stick with the Lions. They look pretty dominant when they play at home with the crowd behind them.
Loudest stadium in the NFL. Fuck Kansas City.
No, I don't think I will.
Next up we have New Orleans going to Jerry's World to take on the Cowboys. And I'm gonna choose Dallas.
I am too. I don't think the Saints are as good as they looked against the Panthers. They were playing the Panthers.
The Panthers could lose to a Pee Wee team.
Yeah, basically.
Indy heads to Lambeau to take on Green Bay. Jordan Love's out, so give me Indy.
Yeah.
I
I
mean,
don't
I
know.
could.
Green Bay's kind of tough playing at home, though.
The only way I could see Green Bay sticking in if their defense plays out of their mind. But outside of that, I gotta go Indy, especially with Malik Willis starting. But we'll see. Next, we have the New York Jets taking on the Tennessee Titans, and give me the fuck.
Give me the fuck. I don't think the fuck is playing.
I'll go in New York for this one.
The Jets, Jets.
Suck.
I'm gonna go Tennessee. It's the
Okay.
first one we've differed on.
The next 1:00 game is the 49ers heading to Minnesota to take on the purple reincarnation of the devil, which is the Vikings. Give me San
49ers.
Francisco.
49ers.
Seattle heads the Foxborough to take on New England. Give me Seattle.
I think I'm gonna take New England because Seattle's got to come across country.
The Giants will take on the Commies. Give me the Commies.
Both teams kind of suck. I think they're playing in Washington.
Yep.
Or technically Landover, Maryland.
Yep.
I'm gonna take the Commies.
Hey, we could go to the Chargers Panthers game for tickets as low as $23. But give me LA.
Yeah, I'm definitely taking the Bolts on that one.
Cleveland takes on Jacksonville in Jacksonville, and give me.
I'm going Jacksonville because that's my team.
See, here's the thing.
They both suck.
Cleveland has a really good defense, but no offense. Jacksonville is just kind of mid on both sides of the ball. Give me Cleveland. Their defense will win them this game. Next up, we have Las Vegas taking on Baltimore. And give me the Ravens.
Yeah, I wasn't impressed with the Raiders, so I think I'm gonna take the Ravens. Even though I really need Oakland, need Las Vegas to win.
Next up, we have the Los Angeles Rams taking on the Cardinals, and give me the Rams. I think they'll bounce back.
Where are they playing this game at?
Arizona.
Give me the Cardinals. I was kind of impressed with what I seen from them. Murray, you gotta get the ball to Harrison though.
Gotta get it the Maserati's Marv, as Gus Johnson would call him. The Pittsburgh Steelers head to Denver to take on the Broncos. Give me Pittsburgh.
Here we go, Steelers. Here we go.
But hey, if you guys lose this game, you can blame it on the higher altitude.
We're not gonna lose. TJ is gonna go nuts in that higher altitude. I predict 3 sacks.
3 sacks, okay. And for the last game at 4:25, Cincinnati heads to Kansas City. Give me Kansas City.
Why could I see Kansas City beating the Chiefs like on a fluke call or something?
I love when Kansas City beats themselves.
I'm gonna take Kansas City though. They're the defending Super Bowl champ.
And plus, it's Cincinnati. I think Cincinnati's kind of overrated. Our Sunday night game. Chicago takes on Houston.
Houston.
I'm going with Houston. And for the final game of the week, Atlanta takes on Philadelphia in Philly on Monday night. Give me Philly.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go Philly.
And that is our predictions for week 2 of the NFL season.
Yeah, we'll be back next Tuesday to see how well we did.
Mm-hmm. So, anyways, we'll see you guys next.
Oh, I gotta do my the power rankings for week 2.
Oh yeah, power rankings.
I'm gonna start at 32, and that would be your Carolina Panthers.
That's not surprising.
Next, you have the Giants, the Raiders, the Commanders, the Titans, the Broncos at 27, the Cardinals at 26, the Patriots at 25, the Vikings, the Saints, the Colts, Seattle, my Jacksonville Jaguars are at 20, the Falcons, the Chargers, the Browns at 17, the Jets at 16. You have the Rams, the Bengals, the Bears are 13, the Cowboys at 12. My Pittsburgh Steelers are just outside of the top 10, coming in at 11. The top 10 are number 10 Packers, 9 Dolphins, 8 Texans, 7 Bills, 6 Buccaneers, 5 Eagles, 4 Ravens, 3 49ers. Second are your Detroit Lions, and number 1, the Kansas City Chiefs. I can't disagree with any of that, maybe.
No.
I mean, as a Steelers fan, I would probably have them ahead of the Packers.
We'll see after this week. But that'll probably change considering that Jordan Love's out for the next few weeks. And with it being a leg injury, it might take him some time to get back to what he did last season.
Yeah.
It sucks. I hate Green Bay, but it sucks for injuries like that, unless it's the Aaron Rodgers.
Hey, why we hating on Aaron? What did
Fuck Aaron
ever do?
Rodgers. I don't know. Owned the Lions for 15 years?
Well, maybe the Lions should have been better in those 15 years.
Maybe we should have had better owners. Thank God for Sheila.
Well, it wasn't my fault they had to wait until everybody died for Sheila to take charge. I mean, technically, her mother's in charge. Because her mother's still alive. But she's just like, has power of attorney, so she's in charge.
Yeah. So Sheila's in charge. But anyways, I don't have nothing else to add.
I don't either. I can't wait till the weekend because it's football. It's fall and football.
Yep.
We hope you enjoyed this first edition of the Mid Football Review.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll see you again on next Tuesday, reviewing week 2.
Yep.
Of the NFL and select college games that we think were relevant, not irrelevant, to talk about.
Yeah.
So until next time, goodbye, you mid peasants.
Goodbye.